Alrighty, so the topic of the video today is going to be about backcapping and how it can be incredibly powerful in turning the tide and being able to get you the win in matches that seem to be a certain loss. Now, understanding why backcapping can be incredibly useful, you first kind of need to understand essentially how Outpost Rush works at its core. And it's a pretty simple game mode. It's a game of time, essentially. Whoever holds the most points will get the most ticks, and whoever holds them for the most amount of time will win the game. Time is the big theme in Outpost Rush that I don't think a lot of people really fully understand or can grasp how important it is. It's not a game of kills or damage or stat padding. It's literally a game of time. And backcapping is something that can buy you time, and you can then manipulate that time in a variety of ways, which we will end up seeing in this match here. While it is powerful, it isn't something that is kind of a just go-to strat or something that you can use every game. If you've been playing Outpost Rush for any amount of time, I'm sure you're all aware of how bad, or not even bad, completely random the matchmaking is in the game. You can end up getting a team with 0 healers or bruisers. Teams get pretty stacked pretty often, which makes a lot of matches, landslides. But even ones that aren't landslides, you really need to understand the layout of your team. Try to see who's actually who has the stronger composition, because if you have gotten lucky enough to be matched a team that has a stronger composition that can just hold to 2 points without needing to backcap, there's really no need to backcap, because all backcapping is going to do is split up your numbers and give the enemy team options or ways to find the way back into the game. If you can just hold 2 points, that's really the easiest way to win the game. But a lot of the time, you end up with situations where your team is heavily, not even outnumbered, but just composition-wise, unfavored compared to the enemy team. And that's where backcapping is really going to come into play. As you can already see in the match here, it does seem like we do have the weaker composition here. We're not even 5 minutes into the match, and the enemy team already has us on a 3 cap and is getting points very, very quickly. So this is definitely one of those situations where I'm going to try to look for probably backcapping for most of the game, because that's going to be the only thing that is going to really give our team any options to make any moves here. And as I mentioned earlier, your goal isn't really to cap their back point and just sit on there and get points to catch up that way. The thing that it does is it pulls enemy players to the point, which then in turn buys the rest of your team time to do a variety of things. You get back into the game, capture points, make a move on Baron. As you can see, because of how drastic the enemy team has us here, I'm going to be looking to try and pretty much live at the enemy back point here. So after getting my Sun there and seeing that it's not even really an option to try and cap, I'm going to go ahead and try to make my way to Moon here and see if I can make some moves. We're really in a bad situation though. The enemy team is getting points very, very quickly, but we're going to see truly how powerful this strat is. A lot of the times people think that games are over as soon as you get into situations like this, but there's a lot of ways you can get back into matches. Now, showing up at the point here, I really wanted to go for the opposite gate. The reason for that being is because when people respawn, they jump off of the side that I went for, and if they're respawning and jumping off the wall, they're more than likely going to see you attacking the gate. Whereas if you were to go for the backside, there's less of a chance of people running into you. Now, the thing about doing this is you have to be really careful. Hopefully you have some teammates, luckily like I do here, who will notice what you're doing, and if you can get even a couple of you to just work together, you can really put a number on the enemy team as long as you play smart. It looks like they haven't barricaded the back door, so I just make my way in here. And my main focus is going to be to take out this outpost first. The first thing that I want to do is cut off the spawns. I do see that this Void Gauntlet user does get low though, so I just want to see if I can finish him off very quickly, which we are able to do. And immediately we do end up going for that outpost there. Now that we do have those spawns cut off, all we're going to have to do really is see if we can take out this tank as soon as we can, because we really need to get this point capped. If we die before we cap it, we can still make something out of it, but really get the most value out of capping. And right as I noticed there, a couple of more players have jumped onto the point and jumped onto my teammate there, so I throw out a storm just to provide a little bit of help, and they aren't paying attention, so I am able to take out one of them very, very quickly there. I get very, very low, and I wanted to go aggressive there to see if I can finish off that kill, but I know I should have made the right choice there, which was jump into my entomb just to reset the fight. And you see we are able to finish off that kill anyways with the help of the friendly musket player. And we're just going to work our way back onto this tank here. We really need to get this kill because he's going to be preventing us from getting this point. And with a third here, it looks like we're going to have our opening to be able to get him. As we run him out of sand there, we all just open up on him. And we find our opening to cap the point. And already, before we even capped it, you can see what this has done. As you saw, the enemy team was pretty much just freely 3-capping us. But with them respawning, instead of them just running back to reinforce and keep us on 3 points, they have to stay here and fight us, which is what allowed our team to recapture our first point. But looking back at this fight, we are getting reinforcements. We are pretty close to capping the points, so I really want to try and stay on here and see if we can get this. We are doing a really, really good job of focusing the same targets. And we had this one player very, very low. I'm trying to see if I can get in the way and be of assistance to try and block and keep our friendly player there alive. But unfortunately, we do go down. Like I said, we can still make something of this. It would have been much, much better if we could have survived during that initial push. But we managed to pull quite a few players there, which allowed us to, again, capture this first point. And it looks like our team is now contesting Sun. I forgot to mention as well, I am running my Ice Gauntlet setup. The thing about this build that is really nice as compared to my Fire Staff setup is it's a lot more sturdy and durable, and you can fight for a lot longer. So a setup like this is going to be definitely a lot better for trying to back cap, because you can stay alive on that point for a lot longer. But it does look like a lot of our teammates are on that point there. So I want to go out and actually be a nuisance here and see if I can draw some attention. But if you actually look at the top there, the enemy team just literally walked on the point and seemingly just stopped our team from capping. So yeah, it's a really, really hard matchup. We can't take any straight up fights, as you see right there. We weren't even really able to cap Sun. So as soon as I see that, I immediately just decide to make my way towards Baron, actually, because that is coming up. Baron, capturing every single Baron in this match is going to be the other condition to be the only thing coming back. They have a very huge lead on us, and if they get a 3-cap again, it's going to be pretty much over. So making my way on here, I really just want to survey. Like I mentioned multiple times, you really want to make sure that there's nobody lurking when you attempt to Baron. But seeing as I'm here alone, I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can just start working in some damage and hopefully we get some assistance from some teammates. It does look like we are getting a little bit of assistance, but again, you're going to notice here, the second that I see a single red name, I'm immediately going to hop off Baron. And as soon as we see some players jump in, that's immediately what we do. So targeting the highest priority target first, we're going to go for that healer. Try to avoid his scream. We do a good job of getting damage in. Again, just being on the healer is what you want to do. And hopefully friendly will see an opening that you've created and help you take them out, because they are pretty hard to take out solo for sure. But I am pushing out these 2 players out of the point. I need to just make sure that I do not go down here. do a good job of making some space and putting in some pressure with my storm. And it looks like we get a little bit of assistance, but they are committing to pushing us outside here, which is a good thing. I want to see if I can take out this healer though, because the healer is going to be the thing that allows them to stay alive on this fight. And we managed to get a really good combo in while she's trying to heal one of his teammates. Finish off the healer. As that's happening, it looks like our teammates have also finished out everybody else in the point, and luckily we get Baron. But as you can see, they are at 730 points, so we need to get to that point and draw some more players so that we can buy some more time. A little thing when it comes to actually backcapping, especially when you're playing solo, you really want to be intentional about your routes that you take to the enemy back point. We are taking the furthest back route here, as we did just finish Baron, but a route like that is going to be something that can be the difference between you capping the point or not. Slipping around and at least getting a good 10%, 25% on the point, and maybe a teammate before you get caught, before you even get to the point, is really important. As you see here, nobody was able to see us, and we immediately got 3 players here who followed us to the back point, which is super important. As I mentioned, that Baron is probably the only thing that is gonna keep us in this game right now, and this is gonna get pretty crazy pretty quickly here. The enemy team already saw that we tried to go for this strat earlier. Luckily though, it seems like most of the enemy team was at Sun. So, and being that we had 3 players here, it looks like we're going to be able to get a clean capture before this tank shows up and makes it difficult for us. So as soon as we cap that, I'm going to go ahead and leave the tank to my teammates there and just go for the DPS because they're going to be easier to take out. We jump onto the Great X player, we get some help, immediately take him out there with some good teamwork and just make our way back onto the point. And that's kind of the little dance you're going to want to do. Kind of fortify on the point when you need to. When you find an opening is when you want to kind of go out on the point, but you really want to be careful, especially when going out onto the other side, because it's going to be really easy to get caught by a bunch of enemy players and go down. Now, I don't want to spend too much time with this tank. As you can see, there are a couple of enemy players on the point, and immediately as I see that, I just ignore this tank and make my way back to the point. It looks like our teammates are doing a good job of taking out some though, as they took out one of the players. Now that the rest of us are showed up though, it looks like we are going to be able to take out most of these guys here. And it doesn't look like a lot of their team has committed to this yet. So this is a really good state to be in. We have our first point. We just came off Baron, so we were able to get at least a good 100 points off of that lock. And hopefully our team doesn't all come to this back point right now, which would be really bad. It looks like our teammates there do up an outpost, which is super important. As soon as I see the outpost, I'm going to really just abuse that and start playing aggressive here. I have a free respawn essentially like 50 meters away. So I'm going to try to zone all these players as far out as I can. A little sloppy there with the Spirit player. Definitely could have reacted to that, but again, we're just playing super aggressive here, knowing that we have that outpost there. Getting a little bit of help, seeing as a friendly player has the same idea, which is really good. That is going to be one of the really big things that helps with this strategy as well. Having just 1 or 2 people on your team that have the same mindset as you is going to drastically increase your chances of achieving this goal and actually getting back caps off, because doing it solo is pretty hard, especially if the enemy team just decides to pull a healer and a couple of DPS, because that turns into a fight that you pretty much can't win. But again, I'm pushing out super far here. I want to see if I can just buy as much time right here as I can. The enemy team is on 1 point, and it looks like we got another good chunk of points. We are working way back onto the board here, but again, we aren't looking for kills. This isn't a deathmatch. It's a game of time, and we were able to buy a little bit there, which is as you can see, our team was able to throw up a tier 3 gate, which is going to be huge. We're just going to essentially go ahead and just fortify this point and stick here. and straight up just utilize and leverage the fact that we have a bunch of PvE'rs on our team. It's actually pretty funny. A lot of the time people get mad at people who just PvE the entire match, but as you're gonna see here, it can be huge given the situation. And as you can see, they're having a hard time getting through that tier 3 grate, so I want to jump off and just distract them, see if I can give my teammate some time to repair it. And as you can see there, he already got onto it and got it back to full HP. The thing about gates is, as you level them up in tiers, they get exponentially harder to break down. And at tier 3 being the highest, as long as we have somebody on the inside repairing it and somebody on the outside distracting them, it's going to be almost impossible for them to be able to take out that gate. So being on this brawl battle mage that we are, I'm going to do what I do best and be a nuisance. Throw out my storm on every single one of them. We throw in a flash as well. Pretty much get all of them to at least turn and switch their attention to me for a second, which again buys our teammate time to just fully repair it. We pick off a straggler and immediately just want to go ahead and make my way back to the point. Ice Storm is going to give us so much value in this situation. They're all clumping up on the point. We get a nasty parry into quite a few of them there, and we're just going to go ahead and evade and get out of there and just again buy as much time as we can. It looks like our team has also captured Sun, so this is honestly probably one of the best situations we can have been in. This back-cap has drawn enough players and bought enough time for our team to capture Sun. Hopefully enough of them stay there to either fortify that, or we can just pretty much spawn camp the team. But we are still alive out here, and the gate somehow is still up as well. So I'm just going to go ahead, pick off another player, throw out our storm, ball the builder, just straight up keeping our team in the game here. We throw a parry, stun all of them, just straight up being a nuisance to this team. As long as I cycle my cooldowns, my entomb, my storm, I should be okay to stay alive, as it seems like we now have a healer here. But this is just an insane match. The gate is still up somehow. I think it's just one player in there. Tier 3 gates are truly OP. We finally do go down, but we've bought quite a bit of time for our team. And it looks like they do finally get it down there. We still have the outpost up though, so we immediately respawn. But as you can see, pretty much the entire team is here, which was what our goal was, which is what allowed us to recap Sun and get us back on the board. I'm going to see if I can try my best to buy as much time as I can here, but this is definitely going to be a fight where they recap this. But we get a nasty parry on quite a few of them, get them quite low, but I don't actually think we're going to be able to capitalize off this. We don't have enough damage dealers here, and they just straight up cap the point off of us there. And if you thought I was done, we are not even close. I'm literally just going to go ahead and chill here, and I'm pretty sure most times what the enemy team tends to do, as you can see a couple of them trickling out here, their next target is going to be Sun. So we're just going to hang out for a bit, wait for the Zerg to kind of head down there, and we're just going to go ahead and head back and do the same thing. In a situation where our composition isn't strong enough to just straight up fight them, this is really a super effective strategy at being able to combat not being able to straight up fight them. We end up taking out another bowman. It looks like we do still have a teammate here on the point, so I want to go ahead and see if I can make my way over to give him some assistance, and it does look like he finishes him off. So with nobody left on the point, we're gonna go ahead and get a cap. And it's a good thing we actually did stay behind, because the enemy team just straight up ran our team down and recaptured both points. We are getting back Star though, so Star and Luna is going to be able to put us in a really good spot. I think we were down what, 500 600 points at one point. After they finished Baron, they were at 730 points. The fact that this game is still going on is actually insane. It's one of the craziest Outpost Rush matches I've had in a while for sure. It looks like there is a couple of enemies who are making their way back to the point. Hopefully we can finish out the cap here before they finish roll us over, excuse me. And it does look like we are going to get it. Baron is up in 30 seconds, and this is another situation where backcapping again can be incredibly useful. if we all had just gone for Baron here, I feel it's definitely be a pretty quick death for us. As you saw, the entire match pretty much we haven't been able to fight the enemy team, but it doesn't actually look like all of them has shown back up. So we are able to take out one player here, so I'm gonna go ahead and work my tricks here and see if I can just buy time and not die. But unfortunately we do go down as a couple of more ranged players make it back onto the point. But we pulled, I don't know, 4 or 5 players. I believe a couple of more players were in transit. So we're gonna really see, hopefully, how much value we get out of that back cap there. And literally, as I'm making my way back to Sun, it looks like our team kind of rushed Baron. And if you remember, we had a good couple of ranged, both musket and bow players back on us at that point. We had taken out a couple, and we had a couple who were shooting us who finished us off. As I've mentioned, bow players are one of the biggest culprits when it comes to stealing Baron. So the fact that we had 5 to 8 ranged players up at their back point is probably what allowed our team to get Baron there. And getting this Baron here at this stage of the match is huge. It's probably, again, as I mentioned with the last Baron, the only thing that's gonna really allow us to stay in this match. And our team is just really making clutch plays all around. It looks like the enemy team is making their way back to Sun. As I do see some reinforcements, I'm gonna kind of hang around for a bit. It's at this point where, you know, the enemy team is gonna be aware of our tricks. So I want to see if I can kind of chill here for a second and really fortify with our team to see if we can now hold out too, because if we can just fortify on Sun and hold it out, will be pretty good for the rest of the match. And we have that Baron buff giving us that damage reduction, so it might be the only factor that's allowing us to team fight them right now. We are able to capture Sun, and the other thing that's really nice about this strategy as well is it really throws the enemy team off rhythm. They don't really know what to expect. They can't really just sit there and fortify Sun with their entire team because, you know, the threat of the back cap is there. So, you know, instead of their entire team being there to kind of oppose us at Sun, it looks like we're able to, again, with that Baron buff, get that point. And it does actually look like their team is actually quite split up across the map instead of just being in one big clump, which is really the thing that we're going to want here. Being that we have a good number of players back here, I'm just going to go ahead and sit it out and see if I can get a kill here, or a couple kills if I can. End up getting one player very, very low, but we missed the 2 auto attacks after that, which would have been the finish there. And we are going to end up probably going down here. But as you can see at the top there, I actually am not sure what's going on with the enemy team. We have enough people to actually quickly cap. As you can see that we actually have captured Luna. So it looks like we have them in like quite a bit of disarray. It's super, super close match. And I respawn at our point as it looks like we have a healer who's kind of on the point here. But we are on 3 points right now at the end of the match as Baron is 1 off. I'm sure you all remember the score. This was pretty much a loss as the game started, but we clawed our way back. And we're able to pretty much just sit on 3 points at the end of the game here, where the enemy team is not getting back points. Just an incredible match. Pretty much, as I mentioned, leveraging those PvE'rs to they were really the MVPs if you think about it. If we didn't have that tier 3 gate and the outpost at the enemy point, we definitely would not have been able to hold it for that long, which was what allowed us to not only get points back on the board, allowed us to flip Sun and capture Baron. That tier 3 gate at the end there was super, super clutch. Bob the Builder needs a medal for sure. But it looks like our team is able to pretty much capture out Sun fully. We get the full 3 cap, and it looks like we're able to finish out the match here. But just a beautiful match. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed the commentary, because this was definitely a fun one to play for sure. But let me know if you have any questions in the comments. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.